It appears there's a human being watching. Hello, human being, I'm the Doctor. Ah, you've heard of me. Well, I do travel all of time and space. I've seen wondrous things, scary things as well. Let me tell you about the things you should be scared of. Actually, it's just me, Martin, doing a bit of cosplay. Give us a thumbs up if you're a Whovian like me as well. It is, of course, Doctor Who's 50th anniversary. So for Head Squeeze, I thought I'd look at some of the recurring monsters on Doctor Who. Which do you think is the scariest? Well, keep that in mind as I look with some science which ones you should be scared of. Let's start with the Weeping Angels. They're almost as old as the universe. That's 13.8 billion years, by the way. And they have an ingenious defense mechanism. When they're not being observed, they move quickly and silently. But when they are being observed, they quantum lock, turning themselves into stone. And this is actually very similar to the quantum Zeno effect, when a normally unstable particle, when continuously observed, won't actually decay. Essentially, its normal evolution is frozen. This actually taps into one of the weird things about the microscopic world, that the act of observing something changes its state. But this is also a massive problem. What counts as an observation? If you go by the original so-called Copenhagen interpretation, then it's all down to a human being. But then you get the absurdities such as Schrodinger's cat, where you have something as big and normal as a cat being both dead and alive at the same time. While this is a problem we still haven't fully resolved, quantum decoherence could provide an answer. This removes that strict boundary between experiment and observation, and it's everything in between that slowly gives you that apparent change of state. In fact, it's a really nice way of just generating the familiar everyday world around us from the weird quantum world that, of course, it's built up of. So how does this apply to the Weeping Angels? Well, essentially, everything counts as an observation, even air molecule bouncing off them. So surely they'd be stone all the time. Then again, our understanding of quantum mechanics could change in the future. Next up, it's the Cybermen, cybernetically augmented humanoids that suppress emotions and want to cyber-convert you into their ranks. Now, the original Cybermen suffered a massive weakness to gold. Some say that was because its non-corrosive nature would block up their respiratory system when inhaled. But then again, things like gold coins, gold-tipped bullets, even a golden ticket spelt their downfall in some episodes, which makes me think that there's an adverse chemical reaction going on. This is actually really surprising because gold isn't very reactive at all. In fact, it's almost right at the bottom of the reactivity series of metals. This is because its unpaired electron that it needs to get rid of in order to react is actually at a lower energy level than some of its paired electrons. So whilst gold would like to get rid of that unpaired electron, it can't because it would make those paired higher energy electrons unstable. So if the Cybermen are reacting so badly to gold, it makes me think that some part of them must compose of a super strong oxidizing agent, which would then readily react with practically anything else. Iron, aluminium, hydrogen gas. That's a massive weakness in my books. Of course, a discussion of Doctor Who's monsters has to include the Daleks, genetically mutated creatures integrated into a tank-like robotic shell. It's this shell that makes them so deadly, that and their determination for extermination, because it's heavily armed with a plunger, don't laugh, it can crush man's skulls, and of course, a death ray. Now, death rays, or directed energy weapons as they're known outside of science fiction, are in fact real. In fact, US Navy's laser weapons system works against drones. A laser produces highly focused light waves, which means it's extremely accurate. By bombarding a target with the photons of light, you heat it up and can cause it to ablate, catch fire, or just generally cause damage. The thing is, though, it takes a lot of power. One reason being because of things like dust in the atmosphere. These will heat up before the light even gets to your target. Then again, this is a problem we have overcome, of course, because we have real laser weapons. But they're not really like the Daleks' death ray. There's no beam of light, there's no strange X-ray flash. In fact, the object or target just catches fire from a point and then everything goes up in flames. It turns out that these directed energy weapons are actually really economical compared to things like missiles. So they're not only cooler, they're cheaper per shot as well. Hope you Doctor Who fans enjoyed that, but if you're more of a Trekkie, why not check out if we can build the Starship Enterprise by clicking here, or to see my favourite head squeeze videos, click my sonic screwdriver.